Hello, this is Mickey Agner with another backyard wildlife presentation on building a nesting bluebird house. One of the most rewarding locations to engage wildlife is at your home. Trips to the exotic locations are unnecessary, and the ability to engage the young in the parenting practices of backyard wildlife make the local experience really intimate. Additionally, the ability and opportunity to interact with the wildlife parenting activities provide excellent photographic opportunities that's not available on vacations and trips abroad. This is a how-to presentation about building that nesting bluebird house. And monitoring that box is how Roger Chilson captured the photos that you'll see in this presentation. If you enjoy it, you should consider subscribing and clicking on the notification bell to catch all of our future posts. If you'd like to see the presentation in written format, it's located on our website and that link is listed below. You enjoy.
Okay, the tools you'll need for this project include a sharp handsaw, wood clamps, a screwdriver, a work table, a drill, one 1/4 inch bit, one 1.5 inch bit, two very small bits for nail holes, and access to a table, miter, or skill saw. You will need to make 8 different cuts in preparing the components for this house. I'm not going to call off each one of those, but you're certainly welcome to screen print that little listing and use it at your own benefit. Basically, the house will include a floor space of about 5 by 5. It'll be about 9 inches high, and it will be connected to a 1 by 8 in the back. Now's a good time to drill the holes necessary in the project, and before doing that, remember to back your material with scrap wood so that it will prevent any kind of tear out. On the front, centered side to side, 2 inches from the top, drill a 1.5 inch entrance hole. On the entrance pad and centered, drill a 1.5 inch entrance hole. On the bottom, drill 5 1/4 inch drainage holes, 1 in each corner and 1 in the center. On the back, drill 2 1/4 inch holes, 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom, both centered and about 3/4 to 1 inch from the end. Now we are ready to begin assembling the various components of the house, and we want to start by mounting the bottom to the back. And the first thing we do is to draw a horizontal line 2 inches off of the bottom. Should be the same distance on both sides. Secondly, we want to draw a vertical line from the top to the bottom 1.5 inches off of one of the sides. That side will eventually become the sliding side. The next thing we do is to take and apply a bead of glue to one of the short sides of the bottom and attach it with screws or nails. When it's placed, one of the edges should be flush to the vertical line and one of the sides should be flush to the horizontal line. And you might want to consider using a vise, wood clamps, and a spacer in the mounting process. I should address the concept of a sliding side at this point. We have previously referenced 3 sides that were of the same dimension. There will be a front and one side that will be permanently attached, and they will be of the same dimension. The other side will be the same dimension but will be attached by way of a latch, and when unlatched it can slide open. Consequently, when we reference runners and sliding side, that's what we're talking about. Incidentally, the purpose of that sliding side will be for observation and clean out. All right, in this slide we are ready to attach the outside runner to the back in order to provide a channel for this sliding side to move back and forth. If you'll remember in a previous slide, when we attached the bottom to the back, we drew a horizontal line 2 inches off the bottom, and we drew a vertical line 1.5 inches from the edge of this sliding side. Now we want to come 3/4 of an inch outside of that vertical line and make another mark parallel to it, but 3/4 inches toward the side. That will represent the inside edge of the outside runner. Then we want to take and start brads into the outside runner, put a bead of glue on the underside of it, place it on the outside line, and attach the two. Looking at this view of the back and the sliding door, it's obvious that we're using a small metal bracket as the inside runner. With the outside runner mounted and the sliding side in its channel, the ideal way to mount the runner bracket is to place it against the door and mark the hole center with a punch. Replace the bracket and attach the runner bracket with a screw. Make sure that there is a micro amount of space between the bracket and the sliding side. Okay, now we want to attach the outside runner to the front panel of the house. The way we do that is to, number one, lay the front panel flat on the table with the front side down. Secondly, you want to apply a bead of glue to the outside runner on the appropriate edge. And then lastly, we want to attach the runner to the front with either screws or nails, and you want that bottom of the runner to be flush with the bottom of the front. Here we're going to attach the bracket or the upper inside runner to the front, just like we did previously to the back. And the way we do that is to lay the front flat on the table, put the sliding door on its edge up against the outside runner, position the bracket minimally 2 inches from the top, mark the center of the screw hole with a punch, and then attach it with a screwdriver. All right, now we want to attach the entrance pad to the front panel of the house. And to start with, we're going to apply a bead of glue around the entrance pad and around the entrance hole. Secondly, we're going to put a second bead of glue in all 4 corners. Thirdly, we're going to clamp the entrance pad to the front with 2 wood clamps, and then we're going to attach that entrance pad to the front with nails or screws. Lastly, we want to use our finger to remove all the glue that has emerged from the compressed edges. Now we want to attach the permanent side to both the bottom and the back components, and the way we do that is to lay the back with the bottom attached flat on the work table. Put a bead of glue on the permanent side where it will contact both the bottom and the back, and then put it into position. Make sure that it is flush with the bottom component and attach it to the bottom first. That should give you some stability and facilitate a little bit of movement at the top of the permanent side so that you make sure that it's equal distance from the edge of the back, and then attach it to the back with screws or nails. Okay, now we want to attach the front panel to both the permanent side and the bottom, both of which are already mounted to the back panel. First thing you do is apply glue to the top edge of the permanent side and the bottom. Secondly, you lay the front flush with both of those 2 panels. And lastly, you attach the front with nails or glue. So now it's time to prepare the sliding door for attachment. And to do that, initially take a 6D nail and clip the tip off until there's about 1.5 inches remaining. Drill a hole in one end of the sliding door, centered and exactly 3/8 of an inch from the edge. Exercise the nail through that hole until it will move smoothly. Now reinsert the door into its channel, reinsert the nail, tap it with a hammer until it marks the bottom underneath. Remove the door, drill a second hole where it was marked, and that hole should be a little smaller than the 6D nail. Now mount the handle on the sliding door on either end, preferably on the end away from the nail hole. Use nails, screws, and glue in order to do that. Reinsert the sliding door, and you should be able to easily but firmly attach it to the birdhouse. Okay, at this point we're ready to attach the spacer across the two sides and against the back. When doing this, you want to make sure that there's no glue nor any nails that will go into the sliding side over here. It can be attached with glue and nails or screws to the permanent side and against the back. Alright, here you can see that the top has been placed against the back and angled down to the front, giving the roof a little bit of a slope to dispel rain. You can also see that there's a piece of molding here, but that requires certain angle cuts to protect that roof gap, and that those angle cuts can just as easily be placed into the top. You can see that the spacer has created a gap here which will allow body heat to escape. Okay, here we are with a close-up view of where the top touches the back and is laying on top of the spacer here. You'll notice the gap that the roof angle creates. What you want to do is measure the distance at the big gap end from the top to the back. Come down to the opposite end and measure the same distance from the corner inward, and then cut from there straight to the opposite corner. If done correctly, that should give you a flush connection. If it's exaggerated, you'll have a slight opening down here at the bottom, but that can easily be filled with caulk. Remember, when attaching the top, attach it to the spacer, to the back, to the permanent side and the front, but not the sliding side. Okay, once the bird box is assembled, you're ready to mount it. And the ideal mount for the Bluebird box is an 8-foot square post. The post should be buried from 2 to 2.5 feet, and the nest should be mounted to the post from 5 to 7 feet above ground level. 2 to 3 inch nails are ideal, and a pilot hole should be drilled into the post. The ideal placement will be near open spaces with telephone lines or fence lines for the birds to perch on. Additionally, the preferred direction for the box to face is east. Secondly, the box can face north or northeasterly. Make sure that food in the form of mealworms and water are also available. If cats and snakes are an issue, a baffle should also be included below the box.
Some of the most rewarding wildlife observations take place right in your own backyard. And an excellent way to access them is to provide the nesting boxes to that charming bluebird. Now you remember, if you like what you saw and heard, subscribe and click on the notification bell. You take care.